All right. Thank you everybody for coming out tonight, and thank you for those of you who are watching this at a later time. This is the week 5 study hall for the quiz. I am Chef Sydney and I am joined by Chef Jen. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to take a look at, first of all, we're going to look at the notes and go over them. And they will be available, or they are available, directly underneath the quiz on the class page. So these are going to be immensely helpful as you go through this quiz yourself. Okay, so all right, so first here are the notes. All right, so every question that we're going to go over tonight is going to be on these notes. Every single thing that you could possibly need will be right here. The answers, the ability to work out the question are right here available to you. So always have your notes open, kind of like I do here. I have my notes, and then I have my quiz over here. So have those open, use them while you go through it. You know, make it easier for yourself. All right, so here's the quiz. This is the preview that I have pulled up. All right, so they actually have a little bit of information here right at the very top, which is going to be the total food cost and the food cost percentage. You can see them right here in the dark gray, and it's bold. Those will be there, so you don't necessarily have to go back and forth to your notes, but they are there as well as on your notes, and they will be very useful. So remember this, that the total food cost is going to be the beginning inventory plus the food purchases minus the ending inventory. And that is the formula you're going to use to find the total food cost. Now the food cost percentage, you're going to do the total food cost, which is what this first formula was, and you're going to divide that by the total sales that the information gives you. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 1. I'm sorry, did somebody have a question?
At least we're paid better. People only hate police until they need us.
Sydney, can you make me a co-host?
Yes, I was just thinking that too, as soon as I said something. I noticed that I hadn't done that.
In case you decide to give us another look.
All right, sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so like in all the other study sessions that we've done, I'm going to say it one more time. You always want to read the actual question first. So in this case, the actual question is right here. How much did Chef Amy spend on food over the course of the week from Thursday to Thursday? Now you can see there's a whole lot of numbers in this information that it gives you. This right here is exactly why I started telling y'all read the question first, because you're not going to need every single one of these numbers tonight, or for this question in particular. So we need to know how much money she spent on food throughout the week. So her purchases are how much she spent throughout the week. So you will literally just simply add the number, the amount for produce, the amount for meat, the amount for dry goods, and the amount for dairy. So I got my little calculator here, and we can go ahead and go over it, unless somebody can jump out there with an answer for me. Anybody got it? Y'all are so quiet tonight. Okay. So whenever you add all of the purchases together, I got 9,525. It's as simple as that. Her purchases, we're just adding it together, and that's how much she spent. Now, if you are wanting to make sure, like, gee, Sydney, how do you really know that? It is actually on your notes. All right, my computer's moving a little slow tonight. They're here somewhere. There it is. All right, there it is. Sum of purchases. How much did Amy spend on food over the course of the week? Add up each category of purchases. Right there. Simple as that. So whenever I added them all up, I got now 9,525. There's our answer. All right. Number 2, what is her total food cost? Now, if you remember at the top of this page, we can actually use this right here. At the top of this page, we went over the formula for total food cost right here. You don't have to switch tabs or open a different window for your notes. It's right there for you. So, total food cost is beginning inventory, which in this case is $4,237. And we're going to add the purchases that she made throughout the week, which would be the produce, the meat, the dry goods, and the dairy. And then once we have those together, once we've added those together, we're going to subtract her ending inventory, which in this case is going to be this number right there. And her total food cost for that week will come out to be $9,075. Does anybody have any questions about how we did that or why we did that? Okay, I will take your silence as a, no, chef, we understand and it's all good. All right, so number 3. Number 3 requires a little bit more time, if you will here, but it's just as simple as any of the others. All right, so the very first question, or the very first thing we do is we're going to read the question. What is her food cost as a percentage of sales, or her food cost percentage? And they want you to put the answer in as a percentage instead of a decimal. So that means whenever we get the answer, we're going to have a decimal, and we're going to move that decimal over 2 spaces to make it a percentage. Okay, so let's go ahead and cover our bases. So let's go back up here and look at our notes. Food cost percentage is what we're looking for. Food cost percentage equals the total food cost divided by sales. So our very first step here in finding the answer is we need to find the total food cost, which is this very first formula that we looked at before in this last question we did. So beginning inventory plus purchases minus the ending inventory. All right, so in this case, the beginning inventory is going to be $4,697. And then we're going to add up all the purchases that she made as well, which is the produce, the meat, the dry goods, and the dairy. All right, so now that we've added the beginning inventory and the purchases, we're going to subtract her ending inventory. Which in this case, I'm sorry, is this number right here, the 3,518. So what I get is 10,296. So that is our total food cost. Now we need to find our sales so that we can divide the food cost by the sales, which her sales for this week is this number right here. She looks at her sales and finds that she made $30,658. So we're going to take the 10,296 that we got from doing the food cost, and we're going to divide that by the 30,658. Now, I realize that 30,000 is bigger than the 10,000, but that's how we're going to get our percentage. So divide that by 30,658. And the literal answer that I get is 0.3358. So they want us to put this in as a percentage, not as a decimal. So we need to move our decimal sign over 2 spaces to make it a percentage, which in this case would be 33.58%. Anybody have any questions so far? I can't see the chat, so I'm going to assume that Chef Jen has this. Everybody good? All right. So number 4, how much did Chef Amy spend on dairy than on produce? So very, very simple. You're going to take your dairy amount, which in this case was $3,055, and you will subtract the amount she spent on produce, which was $1,042.
It would be 2013.
2013. Easy enough, right? And that is exactly what the answer would be. All right, so number 5, what is her beginning inventory for the following week? Okay, so this one, there's no math actually required with it. This problem has this way of trying to trick you into thinking that it's harder than it actually is. It's all in the wording. So on the first week, she starts on a Thursday, and her beginning inventory, she uses that all week long, and on week 2, which is the second Thursday, is when week 1 ends. But on week 2, when that ends, her next week is starting as well. So whatever she ends week 1 with is what she already has to start with on week 2. So in this case, her ending inventory is 3,149. So that's what she started, or she ended the first week with. She doesn't do anything else before she starts week 2, because the end of week 1 is the same as week 2. So she literally starts off her week 2 with $3,149. Anybody have any questions about that? No? Y'all are so easy and quiet tonight. All right, well, then I'm going to stop sharing this and let's go ahead and look at this. All right, so does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments, anything at all? What are your thoughts on this? This is a really quick study hall considering, it's the math class that we all hate. No offense, Chef Jen. Nobody? Okay. All right. Then, Chef.
Well, I think Benjamin is going to get with you, Sydney, and see if you can give him a hand this week. I'm going to hook up with them on Thursday. So
Okay.
if anybody else needs any one-on-ones or needs any help, please reach out to me. I am available pretty much all day Thursday.
Same here.
I do have some meetings already planned, so let me know. Let me know right away, and I will be there to help you.
Absolutely. I'm also available all day Thursday. I have an open schedule tomorrow as well, except for at 2 o'clock and at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So send us an email, send us a text, whatever the case may be. Send up a flare, don't be shy. This is the last actual quiz for this class. Next week is finishing week, so don't put it off catching up on your assignments. Don't wait till, next Saturday. before you're like, oh, I need to do week 2. Let's get it done now.
This week is finishing week.
That's right.
It's this week.
Oh
So
my,
anything that you need to make up, anything that you want to do a better job on, whatever, has to be turned in by Thursday before 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time.
this schedule is so weird, this block. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, we have 5 weeks instead of the 6.
Yeah. The 6. That's my bad, everybody. There's
Why is that, Shay?
It's because of the holiday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's because of Thanksgiving.
So what? Okay, so when we leave this class, where do we go after this?
That's a great question.
let's
I think it's all
Guys,
different for different
what?
people, but
I think it
I'm
will,
not 100% sure.
but give me a second and I think I can give you an idea of where you're going. So y'all should have already gone through 101 as well as 129. Let's see. Have y'all, and you should, let's see here. Sorry, my computer is still taking forever. Okay, so have y'all already done the 122, the culinary and patisserie arts with either Chef Carla or Chef Rachel?
No.
That'll be me next semester. I'm teaching that next block.
Are
Okay,
you?
so what's that
That's
like?
probably what you're going into.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Is that like cooking or what?
That
Yeah, it's a practical class.
Okay,
You'll
so
be,
pretty much we're gonna have 2 cooking classes.
that'll be your
Don't
practice.
think so.
And then I'm fairly certain that you are going to go, don't hold me on this because I mind you, I've got like 20 classes that I'm looking at the moment. I'm fairly certain that you will either be going into like management by menu or the, maybe the entrepreneurship class. Because
I'm not really sure, so I can't tell you one way or the other, to be honest with you.
you
Okay, so once we're done with 129 with Warren, where do we go after that?
That I don't know.
Is it? I mean, that's why I was asking if it's gonna be another cooking class.
you will have 2
Or-
classes. You will have a core as well as a practical. Once you start getting into
Okay.
like the farm to table class with Chef Catherine or the world cuisines class with Chef Sophia, those are a lot more research heavy. So you won't have a core class to go with that as well. Or I'm not sure if that is really considered a core or a practical, because I know with Chef Catherine, you still do some cooking, and the same with Chef Sophia. There you do a lot more research, but you still end up cooking something. So it's kind of a combination between the core and the practical. But because there's so much work expected to be put
Okay.
into that time-wise, they are only by themselves.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you still got,
I wish I could tell you more, but I really can't.
so you should have, and I think
Any
that
other questions, guys?
okay.
Because these are some short classes.
You know, they used to be sectioned off in weeks of 12, but it works out easier for some students, you know, with conditional enrollment or with life happening, because you know how things happen, and then you fall behind 2-3 weeks, and then
Right.
you struggle to catch up, and those 3 weeks there at the end of that 12-week course can make you or break you. And if you end up failing because you were in the hospital with the flu for 2 weeks, I mean, you couldn't help that, but you end up having to take that whole 12-week course over again. So they're working on breaking it up into 6-week courses. That way, if something happens, then you only have to repeat those 6 weeks versus the whole 12.
Right.
And this week, not this week,
Which makes more sense
class
too.
is really short, because there used to be the same, like all the other classes, there used to be a a big quiz at the very end where you had to go through everything. It wasn't just a 5-question quiz each week. Like there was 10 questions on every single quiz for every week,
Right.
and you had a huge quiz at week 6. So they've actually cut that down quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Because I was wondering about that. I was like, man.
Yeah.
Great. I am going to head out. If you guys have any questions or need me, just shoot me an email or a text message. Those are the easiest ways to get a hold of me.
Are you
Agreed.
getting a hold of me right now, Chef? Or
Yeah, I'm going to email you right now as soon as I get off of here.
okay.
All right. Well, thank y'all for joining us. And if y'all have any questions about anything we went over, just give us a shout and let us know.